Hello, everybody. Welcome to Undivided Live Summer Camp Edition. That's right. Today we are talking about summer camps and classes for our kids around the Los Angeles and Orange County area. We branched out even further if you're looking for some overnight fun, but more on that in a bit. We've all seen camp lists come out in local papers or online. And as we start making calls to see what could be a good fit for our child, many of us have experienced some awkward conversations, and that's putting it nicely. So our Undivided research department has curated a list of camps for our kids. We'll talk about what that means in a minute, but let's face it, we love our kids, we want them to be enriched, and we might appreciate some childless moments during those long summer days. Right, Adriana? Maybe just a few.
Right.
Yes. So we collected ideas. We collected ideas for visual arts, social skills, sleepaway and family camps, therapeutic day camps, educational or STEM camps, and recreational classes and activities. We've tried to cover a range of ages, interests, and possibilities, inclusive classes, and specialty camps. Like with anything, what's great for one is not for another. So we tried to find a little something for everyone. And today we're going to highlight several different camps, touch on funding possibilities, and we're going to share the 5 questions you can ask camp directors when looking for the right experience for your kiddo. I'm Lindsay Crane, and I head the content and community teams at Undivided. Joining me today is Adriana from our research department. Our researchers work tirelessly to vet and curate personalized resources, providers, schools, camps, and lots more for Undivided member families, as well as our Undivided community at large. Adriana, can you explain how a camp makes our Undivided list?
Yes, our research department has 5 foundational elements that we explore before including a camp on our list. And they are you open and excited to work with kids who are neurodiverse? Is this a parent recommended camp where we've heard good things, good experiences firsthand? For new camps, we could still feature them if they're based on our conversations with the director, with the caveat to parents that this is new and we'd love to hear feedback. Are accommodations welcomed and implemented to facilitate inclusion? Is the director open to communicating with the parents about what's working and what needs improvement? And we also vet recommendations from this community of parents and professionals who give their seal of approval. And like Lindsay said, every camp is very different, and what might be a fantastic fit for one child might not work for another. And we're aware of that when we make our lists.
Absolutely. I mean, what's life-changing for one child can feel completely inaccessible to another, which is why your team includes such a variety in our camps report. So, you know, I have to say, on a personal note, when I looked at what you guys did, I was really blown away. It feels really good to look at a list of camps and feel like my child is represented. And then my friend's child is represented as well in a lot of different ways. So let's get to the good stuff.
Yay.
So why don't we start with visual arts? What can we expect from our visual arts camps this year?
Yes, let's start with the artistic kids in our group. We've got a visual and performing arts camps list for our young dancers and painters and improv enthusiasts. There's even a camp that will be putting on a production of The Wizard of Oz. And here's one that I love. If you've got a young performer or are seeking a venue for your child to be involved in social skills training that meets the kids at their level in a fun performing arts environment, the Miracle Project is the place to go. They offer an inclusive environment for children of all types to participate in theater, film, music, movement, and other expressive arts. And they are regional center vendors, and they also have financial aid scholarships.
Oh, that's awesome. So regional center and the scholarships. I love the different funding options, which we will touch on in a bit, but music and dancing and acting, to look through this list, it's so fun. And so we want to hear all about your budding little thespians and how they do. But some of our kids, they might not feel as extroverted, and socialization might be a challenge. So this is why social skills classes and camps are always in demand, especially when they don't feel like work. So what can you tell us about those, Adriana?
Yeah, they're definitely one of the most requested areas for our kiddos. And I'm going to tell you about Social Foundations. They have a summer camp in Culver City that incorporates social learning via a lot of fun summer activities like water play, sports, arts and crafts, and science projects. And they're grouped in appropriate age ranges from 5 to 15. So it's a pretty big age range, and one-to-one aids are allowed at this camp.
Awesome. And the interesting thing about the choices in this section is the variety of professionals that are running these groups. So there are speech focused groups run by SLPs. There are others run by psychologists, and some are for really specific diagnoses. So there really is a bit for everyone in there. And now I want to ask about the category that selfishly I'm most excited to hear about, the sleepaway and family camps. So who's ready to become a Griswold? And for those of you who don't understand that reference, let's get together for a movie night. But tell us about how our kids can safely enjoy sleepaway camps and what can we do as a family?
Yes, if you're ready to hit the road and get out into nature, our sleepaway camps and family weekends list is full of great options. One accessible camp that the whole family can participate in together is called the United States Adaptive Recreation Center Summer Program at Big Bear Lake. And they offer an adaptive outdoor activity experience for everyone to enjoy together as a family. And that includes accessible water skiing, paddle sports, fishing, and nature walks. And they are also vendored through regional centers. So talk to your service coordinator about this one. And they have several dates available throughout the summer for that.
And we have a staff member who actually went to this camp, right, growing up, and really also gave us that personal recommendation. And I know actually
many fond memories.
Yeah. And I know people that have been going, friends that we were in early intervention with, and their children, went from the time they were young and they're still going, in middle school. So yeah, I've heard a lot of great things. I will say that what's kept me away is my lack of balance. So I'm totally holding my daughter back because I can't ski. So, that's the winter months, but yeah, we have to get back to it. But,
yeah, it looks so much fun. Yeah.
But this whole list looks like a lot of fun. So if you're thinking, I'm not a camper, there's all kinds of things though, really on this list. There's a camp in Ojai for families, and it has therapeutic activities for our kids. It even offers activities for their siblings so they can meet and bond with each other, which I thought was really cool. There's lots of opportunities in the mountains. There are wilderness camps for campers with physical disabilities. There's family camps for kids with medical needs that provide respite for the parents while all the family is there together. So there's lots of fun options. I will just also throw in a pitch for my dream is that all of us get RVs and then we can all meet each other in the summers and go to camps together too. So, that's a conversation for another day, but I'm keeping the RV dream alive.
I love it.
Next is therapeutic day camps. So what are those and what will we find?
So these summer day programs in Los Angeles and Orange County are specifically designed to support campers with disabilities. And they're run by professional providers like psychologists, SLPs, OTs. And for a great option, look no further than Friendship Foundation in Redondo Beach. They offer a multitude of outdoor activities and camp options, including a beach camp, field trips, and even a retreat in Lake Arrowhead. The main camp is located at Pacific Elementary School, and activity facilities are all wheelchair accessible. And they have experience supporting campers who need additional support and will need to come with an aide or a caregiver. And they also provide a one-to-one volunteer who is their buddy throughout the camp as well. And they're not vendor with regional center, but they do provide financial support to families. And if you're interested in financial aid, they can provide you with a assistance application.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, these are the type of camps that we've done in the past with my daughter's OT. It was wonderful because, like you were just saying about the aides, it's the only place that I didn't have to provide her with an aide because it was staffed so well and they were trained.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity for a therapeutic environment with specialist oversight that also feels like camp. I mean, it doesn't feel like, you're in a therapy session.
Yes.
So there are lots of good opportunities because we did hear from a lot of parents, like, what kind of support is there going to be? For a lot of children, they do need that environment. So you guys found a lot of great options in that camp. So tell us about the educational camps.
Whether your kiddo's into math, science, coding, gaming, writing, crafting, engineering, dinosaurs, all of it, you name it, our education and STEM camps list has something for everyone. Now, the one I want to talk about is the Bayona Discovery Nature Camp, which will bring out the best in your little STEM lover. It's an outdoor science day camp based out of the Bayona Wetlands Ecological Reserve. They have different themes every week, and children learn about the natural world while they're exploring Bayona and identifying plants and animals, learning about environmental responsibility and more. And you can talk to the camp ahead of time about your one-to-one aid needs with that.
I have to say, it's much better than like the day camp options that I had growing up. It sounds like fun. I want to go to nature camp. And there's so many fun things in this section when you're thinking educational camps. I don't know, but I mean, there's camps it's called Code Ninjas. And then Galileo has a dinosaur dig. There's things that, some of the science camp downtown. I mean, all of these sound fabulous. So it's great. Again, feels like fun. They won't even know they're learning anything. They won't protest about it, I guess I should say. And lastly, we have the recreational camps and classes. So what can we find in those lists?
Okay, so our rec camps and classes list includes really a lot. Extracurricular activities, camps, gymnastics, hippotherapy, which is horseback riding, recreational sports, and swimming. So we have a lot of great options there that support our kids. And I wanted to highlight a specific recommendation that came from our Facebook parent community, and that's Cali Camp. Now, this is a recreational day camp in Topanga Canyon that includes a variety of themes to select from, like action adventure, sports, creative arts, natural excursions. And they have their own inclusion specialist that helps to make sure that your child is having the best summer possible with their typically developing peers. And they have open houses coming up so that you and your family can visit ahead of time and see if it's a good fit. Talk to the camp director, see if your child feels comfortable. So it sounds like a great way to determine if it's the right place for your child.
That's awesome. And
it looks
I honestly have never heard of a camp having an inclusion specialist. So let's make
wonderful.
That's amazing. What was maybe one of the most unique opportunities that you found?
So I'd like to highlight, there's this camp on the east side. It's called Camp Moai, and it's gotten rave reviews in our online community. It's the brainchild of two typically developing teenagers who have siblings with autism who wanted to make a place for them to have great, fun activities. And so it's overseen by adults, but these teenagers run it. They have it at Lacey Park, which is in San Marino. It's a gorgeous enclosed park where kids can bike and run, and it's free, and it's open to all Pasadena area teenagers age 12 and up with disabilities. And they have field trips, activities, and they have tons of volunteer peers who come in to work with them, and we've just heard great things. So check out Camp Moai, MOAI.
What are the 5 questions that we should ask camp directors when assessing a good fit for our child?
Number 1, do you have experience working with kids with disabilities? Just tell them this. I would love to speak to the camp director to see if the camp would be a good fit for my child, and be prepared with specific accommodations that your child might need in order to be successful, and ask how the camp can support them. And you'll know by how they answer if it feels right. Number 2, can a one-to-one aide accompany my child to provide extra support? If your child really needs that support, important to get that taken care of ahead of time.
Absolutely. And Adriana, I want to interject really fast because we did have several questions ahead of time about, can parents be aides at the camp? And you and I sort of talked about that. And I think it would be the same question, right? That you would have for any camp. Can we have an aide? Can I be that aide, to ask if you do want to be that support for your child?
Number 3, how do you encourage socialization with kids who might communicate, behave, or interact in unique ways? You're going to understand how they answer you. Big difference, right? So you're asking them, how might that look? Be that pushy parent. Ultimately, does this camp enthusiastically support inclusive play, accessibility, camp buddies, peer modeling, and celebrating each child for who they are? Be honest about what your child needs, but also what motivates them. Are they responding to your child's strengths or focusing on what they shouldn't do? Yeah. I think that's you'll get the hint right away if they're really focusing on weakness as opposed to strengths, and how they're going to uplift them this summer.
Absolutely. And ask for specifics about,
yes,
great, what would you do in this situation? And to see, if it's like, I really don't know, what's the answer?
I don't know.
Like, hey, like, we would love to talk to you. We'd love to come up with those solutions. Like, how does it feel? And ask for specifics.
You can, when someone's wanting to collaborate.
Yeah.
It feels good. Yeah. You get the warm feeling. Yeah. So number 4, we also encourage families to ask important logistical questions around any enrollment requirements, like do they require a child to be toilet trained, and specific safety concerns. So for instance, do they have a fenced perimeter if your child tends to elope? And again, good communication before and during camp can help avoid surprises while you're educating the staff on the best motivations for your child.
We also touch on the funding options, obviously an important consideration for many families. And as Adriana mentioned, camps can be vendored with certain regional centers, or they can be straight private pay. Also, I did have a tip from Leslie Lobel, who's our director of health plan advocacy. She says, and this is about insurance. So she said, if your child's attending a therapeutic camp where a licensed OT, PT, or SLP is delivering direct services, either one-to-one or in a small group, you can ask about the possibility of obtaining a super bill with billing code and diagnosis for time spent accessing those services. You could then submit that time as therapy to your health plan to process as a claim. So there's a chance insurance could pay for a slice of any therapeutic experiences. And it is obviously nice to have as many options as we can. Obviously, it depends on your plan and your child's needs. So remember, if you would like some personalized guidance and one-on-one support to talk through the recommendations that you're hearing about today or in the reports, or what funding options could work for you, our Undivided navigators are better than the best camp counselor you've ever had. Our mission is to support you so your children can thrive, but we want you to thrive too. We would love to be your partner in this journey and help however we can.